Welcome back to Starfield, everyone. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to build this level 12 Nightwing. Now, I say level 12 because all of these parts unlock at level 12, and you do not need any skill points for this whatsoever. Now, I will point out real quick that this only has 660 cargo, but 380 of it is shielded cargo. Maybe there's some early game pirates out there, which is perfect. But if you're not an early game pirate, then we can easily change these numbers around and have better cargo. And just pay no attention to that 1698. I forgot to sell my junk. Now, I repeat, you do not need any skills for this specific build, but in case you're wondering what is the max level you need to be in order to unlock all this fun stuff, well, that's level 60. And max piloting out, and max starship design. However, for this specific build, we don't need any of that. But I highly recommend getting starship design and piloting on your road to level 60. And of course, you need 1 point into targeting control system so you can start stealing ships, if you so choose. These other skills are useful for increasing stats, but you will not need them for ship building. Here's a fun fact, I play on computer with a PlayStation 4 controller, however I do my ship building with mouse and keyboard. It's a lot easier in my book, but to each their own. So now answer this question. What ship do you want to customize and turn into the Nightwing? Because in a nutshell, you need a ship to build a ship. And if you truly are level 12 when following this video, you're pretty much only going to have the Frontier. Or you might even have the Razorleaf, aka the Mantis. Or who knows, maybe you got brave and just stole some random ship. Now the Frontier alone is complete garbage. But that's okay, because the Nightwing is going to be like 20 times better than this thing. The Frontier comes with a passive effect. You 100% cannot sell it. It's just how the game is. But regardless, the Frontier is yours for the entire game. Now, the only reason I bring up the Razorleaf is it's probably the earliest ship that you're going to acquire through a quest. It's pretty easy. You will get the Mantis quest throughout the main story quest line, and honestly, about 90% of players will probably have it within the first hour, if not sooner. But that does depend on your playstyle. And I will point out that the Razorleaf does come with a passive effect that will prevent pirates from attacking you. Depending on your playstyle, that may benefit you or it may not. It's really a personal choice. Now check out the engines that come with the Razorleaf. The Ares D260 engine is an A-class, max power of 2, 14,000 thrust, and 2600 maneuvering thrust. Now this engine right here is the one that I am using in my Nightwing build. White Dwarf 1020 engine, another A-class. It requires 3 power, only has engine thrust of 8850 and maneuvering thrust of 2625. So if you have the Razorleaf, this engine is going to be a lot better and you will get more bang for your buck. However, the ship only comes with 2 of these engines, and if you want a 3rd or a 4th, I believe these engines unlock at level 31, 32. There is ways of glitch building this stuff, but I don't do that. So the takeaway is, if you already have a free ship from either a quest or you stole it, check out the core components and compare them to the ones we are about to use. If it is better than the ones we're about to use, then consider using that specific ship. Now, if I confused anyone in the first few minutes of this tutorial, just grab your Frontier and pretty much ignore what I said and follow the rest of the video. There is a lot to ship building and it can take a while to get it down. So, for the sake of this video, I'm going to turn the Frontier into the Nightwing. Now to build this Nightwing, we are going to go to 2 locations total. The first one is Hopetown. So open your map. Now starting from Alpha Centauri, which is the starting area of the game, don't forget you can zoom in and out on the screen. We are going to go up here to Narion. Click it once, and we want to go down to Valo. And come on over here to this one, Polvo. And Hopetown. And of course just fast travel if you've already been there, and land. And when you get here, the ship technician is right in front of you.
Anything I can help you with?
Okay, we are here for 2 reasons. So go ahead and move your camera over. Go over to bays and click on Hope for Landing Bay, 800 credits. And for now, just plop it here. Take the landing bay, NG6, bring it over here. Click on it and delete it. And plop this sucker right under there. Now don't worry about making this look pretty. We're only here for a quick minute. Okay, now go to gears and we want Hope 6 landing gear. We need 8 total. And don't forget, click your arrow and it will be a different landing gear. For the sake of this, just go ahead and do all of these in the middle. And we want 8 total. So simply just click on it and duplicate it. Bloop, just like that. Alright, now this part of the ship's going to look pretty derpy. So grab some landing gear and just plop it wherever it will fit on the ship. As long as you get that green underneath the landing gear. Like right there, I can't because it's red. Alright, so grab it, come on to the other side, flip it, and boom. Alright, now we are out of places to put these, so here's what we're going to do. Go on over to Habs. Just pick a random 2x1, it doesn't matter. Okay, come back to the back of the ship. We're going to take this cargo bay, move it aside real quick, because we want this hab to go right there. Why are we doing this? Just so we can get these landing gears in. Oh, but look, now the engines are in the way. Simple fix. Simply click on your hab, duplicate it, and bring it back. Boom, and a boom. And make sure you flip it. Send it there, flip it, send it there, and go ahead and plop you there for right now. Boom. Now, as long as you do not have any red down here, you are good to go. Now, this is the only reason we came to Hopetown, for the landing gear and the landing bay. And your ship will look kind of derpy right now. And we are at 7,144 credits. Now, I'm going to point out really quickly, it is very possible that I swapped this cockpit out in a previous build because I have been designing ships like crazy, and this one might be different than what you have. If it is, pay no attention to it, because we're not using this one. Anyway, now that your ship looks like this, pretty derpy, right? Go ahead and exit, and make sure you accept it. Alright, now open up your map. Reverse out of here and come on down here, and we're going back to Alpha Centauri. And of course it is up here at Jemison. And we want right here. Land. And of course the ship technician is right here. Fun fact, on day 1 of this game, for the life of me, I could not find this Trade Authority kiosk for the life of me. When it was right here.
Anything I can help you with?
Okay, now before you do this, I highly recommend you saving your game. So worst case scenario, if you make a mistake, just simply load it up. Alright, here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and zoom out just a little bit. Grab all 8 of these landing gears. Plop them aside. They can stay on the sides left and right. That's perfectly fine. Okay. And grab your Hope landing bay and set it aside. Okay, now if you are using the Frontier, I highly recommend grabbing this Nova Galactic Frontier 2x1. It is a unique hab, and the only unique hab for the Frontier. Furthermore, if you're using a different ship, like the Razor Leaf, and you really want to keep those engines, then grab them and set them aside just like we're doing everything else. or, you know, whatever ship you're using and want to save a specific part. Just set it aside. Alright, now connect these real quick. Double click it, and boom, delete it. And this is what your map should look like right now. Okay, so now is the time to pause the video, look down in the description because I have all the core components you're going to need, and you can buy all of this right here at New Atlantis. We're going to want the cockpits, we're going to want the Grav Drive, reactor, the 4 engines, the 2 fuel tanks, a shield, and a docker, and we'll come back to cargo in just a second. Okay, now that you bought all of the core components and just simply set it aside, this is the part of the tutorial where my screen's going to look slightly different than yours. Because I have already built this, I have not used the frontier, and I kind of need it in front of me in order to explain it properly. So pay no attention to that. Now at the end I will go over these engines, but if you want to get them now, we need 1 Spark 750 suppressor, and 4 Disruptor 3300 electric beams, but we'll discuss those at the end. So your screen probably looks like a big mess right now. So go ahead and grab your landing bay. Always start with landing bay. Plop it right here in the middle. Well, for you it's going to be right in the middle. For me, I'm going to plop it here because I need the space. And grab your cockpit, bring it over here. Just in front of it. It doesn't have to connect it yet. Okay, so if you chose the Frontier as your base ship, this right here will be that unique piece that we took out just a minute ago. But if you're editing a different ship, then just grab yourself a Deimos Hab. I prefer Captain's Quarters. And plop it right on top of that landing bay. And grab your cockpit and make sure it connects right there. And here, I'll even zoom in a little bit. Just like that. Okay, now grab your landing gear. You want one that is facing front like this, aka the port 4, and put it right there. You want another one that is the middle one, the port mid, and plop you right there. Go ahead and come to the other side and do the exact same thing. Get the front one, and then the middle one. Okay, so now that is your ship. Okay, and now you need yourself a docker. I prefer the 110 DP docker, or you can use whichever one you want. And make sure you flip it so it says bottom, and place this sucker right there. Okay, so one minor thing. First, grab your docker you just placed, bring it back a second. Bring you back by 1. This is very important. Your cockpit needs to be directly on top of your landing bay. It can't be sticking out in front of it. It's got to be just like this. Because we want this docker to go under this. Boom. Just like that. Okay, now go into structures, and you are going to want 2 Deimos Wing A's and 2 Deimos bumpers. And keep in mind that these bumpers also have different versions, and we want the middle. Alright, grab yourself a wing and plop it right there. Hang on a second. There, so the tip of this wing lines up with the nose of the cockpit. And do the same thing with this one. Blip. Yeah, I'm sure you can guess this part, but these bumpers go directly behind it. Just like that. Okay, now grab yourself 2 Deimos Spine C4. Now these are just for decoration, but you can also put weapons on there if you so choose. And they are just going to go right there, right behind the cockpit. Okay, now time for more Habs. Now you can use whichever Hab you want to do. I prefer the Deimos Habs, and for funsies I basically did 1 each. So you got your captain's quarters there, or if this is the Frontier, then you have the Frontier unique piece. So grab yourself a computer core or whatever one you want. And we want to go right there. So it looks like so. And grab another one. For this, I went with the infirmary. That one's going to go directly behind that one. And we're doing the exact same thing for over here. This one's going to be a workshop. And that one's going to be a science lab. And now this is what you should have. And one thing I'll point out real quick. Now, in case you need to move multiple things around, double click it and select it, and then you can just move one giant thing around in case you're running out of space. Okay, and now you need 2 Deimos bumpers and 2 Deimos wing bees. We're going to put the first one right here. Going to put you right here and do the same thing for this side. Put the bumper and then the wing. And now it is time for 2 Habs that are 3 by 1. And again, I prefer the Deimos. And this one's going to be a living quarters. We want that lined up right behind this wing. And same for the other one, which is also another living quarters. Just like so. Okay, and now grab yourself a 2x1 Hab. For this, I went with control station. And plop it right here. And now we need 1 more Deimos bumper and 2 more Deimos wings. So the first bumper can go right here. The wing can go here. And this wing can go right there. Now grab yourself a Nova Kaolin 1LTF and put it right here. And grab yourself a Nova Bracer and put it right behind that. Now we can use these engines. So grab it and put it right on the Nova Bracer itself. Just like so. And guess what? We're going to do this exact same thing over here. So grab a control station, a 2x1, or whatever Hab you want to use. Get yourself a Nova Kaolin, a Nova Bracer, another bumper, and 2 more wings. Don't press the wrong button. And of course, now you can bring your other 2 engines over here. Okay, and now that your ship looks like so, time to add these other landing gears. And again, we are going to want a front one and a middle one. Go ahead and plop you there, and plop you there. And do the same thing for this side. Now technically, you don't really need all of these landing gears, but they're mostly just for show, for style. Okay, so we are almost done. We just got this middle part here to do. But before we get into that, you need yourself another 2x1 Hab, whichever one you want, but for the sake of this, I chose the armory. And this one needs to go behind the ship. And there is the docker. It needs to line up with the docker. So, boom, right there. Now, right here, go ahead and grab your 2 Titan fuel tanks. Plop one here, and plop the other here. You don't really need 2, but, you know, it's symmetry. I need my symmetry. Okay, now, here is the next part. The shield generator. It's this tiny little thing. Now, yes, you can place this wherever you want, but here's for fun. Plop you right there. That way your shield is protected. Not that it actually matters, but, you know, it's going there. Now it is time to install our Grav Drive. So go ahead and plop it right behind the shield. Boink! And now for the reactor. That is going to go right here. Right behind the Grav Drive. Okay, now grab yourself 2 more Deimos Wing A's and 2 Deimos Wing C. First one is going to go directly next to the Grav Drive. And here, go ahead and plop this one on the other side. And of course, the wing is going to go right behind it. And now it looks like so. Grab yourself 1 more Nova Bracer. And go ahead and plop it right there, right on top of the reactor. And now we need 2 Nova Wing ports. 1 for that side, and 1 for that side. So it looks like so. Now, you need yourself a Nova weapon mount. This one's mostly just for style, but you can attach your weapons to it if you wish. That's going to go right there. Okay, so let's talk cargo for a second. If you're a pirate and want some shielded cargo so you can steal stuff, then I chose this one, the 200 cm shielded cargo hold, ×2. If you want to go the shielded cargo route, keep in mind it weighs twice as much as regular cargo, and you have to go to the Red Mile to get it. And I'll point out that if you're going shielded cargo, don't forget to grab yourself a scan jammer while you're at the Red Mile. And lastly, there is not a 100% guarantee of passing a scan if you have contraband on board, so keep that in mind. And of course, if you prefer not to mess with shielded cargo right now and just want to do regular, then I highly recommend the Stormax 30 cargo hold. It's pretty good for cargo to mass ratio. I mean, just one of them is 210 cargo compared to 190 cargo, but 56 mass and 44 mass. Choose the one that fits your playstyle. Shielded cargo for you pirates, or regular Stormax cargo for everyday use. Final thoughts, honestly, if you're level 12 first playthrough, don't even worry about the shielded cargo stuff. Don't even worry about being a pirate. I mean, yeah, it's fun, but there's a lot to the game you gotta learn before you actually do this stuff. Okay, enough about me yammering. If you chose the shielded cargo, grab it and place it right here. And that is technically right next to the shield generator. So it's right there. And of course the other one is going to go right next to it. And if you chose this one, then you're going to want to plop you right in the back. And that would actually work out because you can duplicate it and plop you there. Nice symmetry. You know me, I need my symmetry. Alright, and of course, Scan Jammer is so tiny you're not even going to be able to see it. So plop it right there, if you chose to go the pirate route. And finally, let's talk about these weapons. Now, first things first, you need to understand. Your current reactor only puts out 20 power. Yes, technically you can have 12 power for every single thing, but it's simply not possible to have 12 bars into every single one. Now, you can have them when you build stuff, but when you're out there flying, you just can't. You're not going to have enough. The best reactor in the game only has 40 power, and to have all 6 of these, yeah, I don't want to do math, but you're going to need like 60, 70 power, and that is simply not possible without mods. But I am not building with those. For you pirates out there, grab one, and only one, Spark 750 suppressor. This, technically, I think it's the weakest suppressor in the game, but you don't want to destroy a ship you're trying to take over. And you can plop this little sucker anywhere you want. Here, I'll just plop you there for no reason. Now, your second weapon, I want a Disruptor 3300 Electron Beam, ×4. Now, the best thing about these weapons is that you can use them at endgame. In fact, I use them in all of my level 60 builds also. They're very nice weapons. So ×4, put them wherever you want. Me, I like to get fancy. put them on a wing. You could even put them over here on this landing gear. If you so choose, you can put them up here on this wing. Once you get the right camera angle. Boom, right there. Or you can even put them right on this weapon mount. Boom. Yeah. I mean, wherever you want to place them. Okay, now we are done building, but there's still a few more things left to go over. See how we have a yellow warning? That's just because we're only using 2 weapons and not 3. Ignore that completely. Make sure you assign your weapons to whatever slot you want. Now let's color this sucker. Double click it and click your color button. Okay. Now for this, I want to go straight black. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes this lags a little bit when I color. Color 2. For color 2, I have also chosen black. And color 3, I wanted to go with a darker blue. Or, you know, whichever color you want to go with. You can always just click on this blue and make it darker. You can go purple. You can go red. You know, whatever suits your fancy. And another thing I want to point out, if you're looking for specific color schemes, these Habs, I 100% recommend all 3 1, 2, 3 colors is one solid color. Just like that. There are some Habs that do look good with a slight color change, but overall I just prefer straight black Habs, or whatever color your ship is. Just keep the Habs a single color. Everything else is optional. And for those wanting my specific locations for weapons, I put them right here. Well, alright folks, that is it for this build. I hope I did not confuse anyone. Now, if you built this, do me a favor, press that like button. More likes I get, more stuff I create. And if you haven't subscribed, do so, because I've got more ship builds coming. And I just genuinely like building stuff, so you never know what game I'm going to come out with some random build for. Alright folks, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.